So I asked my grandmother, while we were mixing up all the ingredients for fried chicken, that why do we have to mix it like this separately and in this order when we could just dump it all in a bag and, shake it up? She got a little twinkle in her eye and she said, "You gotta respect the process." That's what we're talking about today. The process. Right after the intro.
Welcome to Season 5 of the Cannabis Truth Podcast. Your host is Honey Smith Walls, author of the new book, Healing Beyond High, Cannabis Truth, a gentle, practical guide for elders to learn cannabis fundamentals safely and effectively without overuse or overwhelm. In a world where the FDA has yet to stamp its approval on this ancient natural remedy, Honey Smith Walls bridges the gap between Western healthcare norms, uplifting benefits and relief through gentle cannabis plant therapies. Join this 21st century cannabis shaman, uniquely positioned to assess the green intentions of medical, farming, and business industries in cannabis and uncover fascinating historical, political, scientific, and spiritual facets of the plant.
Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Cannabis Truth Podcast. Listen, the process can be as universal as pulling your pants down before you sit on the toilet, or how you determined the perfect order to build a cheeseburger to your taste, or as unique as the perfect alchemy of plant therapy for your particular needs. I resisted some processes, argued with my grandmother that processes aren't law, but that little twinkle in her eye was about learning the hard way. She must have resisted too, and knew my questioning would only end up following the universal process after struggling on my own for some time. The process of becoming a woman has been elusive. Every frickin' decision felt like a possible mistake. I kept wondering, when would womanhood just happen to me? Until one day, I just decided it already did when nobody noticed. But that took a lot of years in the state of confusion and wonderment. Nobody really prepared me for becoming a woman. Sex was forced upon me. New places to live were never very far away. And fear would reign most of my days. I didn't know that turned into anxiety, afraid of something to come. But there are certain universal truths that help us understand how to proceed. And I'm not talking about religion or communism or any outside mind-controlling system, except your own. That process looks and sounds more like quiet space, where you put aside all the words and thoughts you've learned and repeatedly heard in order, keyword order, as in process, that you may find peace. There is peace in order, but you also must find the discipline to resist the noise, the words, the thoughts and ideas, some of which return as negative looping memories. I feel a real movement happening underneath my soul and within this culture. I found it by a recognizable language that could be discerned when you tuned in, one of nurturing support and love and concern. Others were there searching, before me, for a new existence, one without so much pain. I'm not alone in this feeling, and it's becoming rather ubiquitous. There is a gathering. Of course, I shut off a shitload of daily junk I was listening to. The news, the morning shows, the 6 p.m. local news, the national and then worldwide politics, and of course, the comedy shows that skewered it all. I stopped watching movies that led with a woman's murder or rape or both. I don't watch sexual violence or listen to audiobooks like that. I don't listen to much music with lyrics anymore because I don't like being jerked around emotionally all day long. I don't hang out with negative women anymore. I'm 70 and want my quality of life to be exhilarating instead of depressing. And since I don't live in North Vietnam, I can design my own ideas of quality of life. This process that I'm speaking about will be unique to you. But realize that you're in a discovery period that may take a while. The only hurry is to find relief, and there's plenty of that to be found if you respect the process. More about that after the break.
Well, hello, I'm Dr. Philip Blair, and I want to introduce you to Honey Smith Walls. And she recently had an experience with beta-caryophyllene.
I was gobsmacked. Absolutely gobsmacked. So I had terrible arthritis, still do, in my hands and my feet. Have some serious neuropathy in my fingertips that had been awakening me every hour on the hour all night long for months. All I could think about was pain. And so my personality, this girl had completely disappeared. Next thing you know, I find out about your product.
Right.
And what beta-caryophyllene can really do. Within minutes of taking my first dose, I could feel the sadness just lifting. Welcome back. Let's just talk about simple aches and pain caused by anxiety or inflammation, perhaps acute pain from monthly cramps. Nothing to dance with a doctor about. If you've never used plant therapy, it's different than just taking a pill from the pharmacy. You really have to figure out what the simple issue is, which products are available in your neck of the woods, and determine a sweet spot dosage over time for yourself. The problem comes in what's available for you and how to figure the delivery method effects versus the actual chemical compound effects. There's a lot of variables. Not only do you have to figure the percentage of THC and CBD as the two main cannabinoids, there are other compounds that have come to light which are giving wider relief for other issues, like neuropathy. But even more than cannabinoids to consider, there are molecules called terpenes, which we recognize in aromas and flavors like citrus and pine, and so many more which grow in all of our food and herbs and spices, as well as cannabis, and have medicinal qualities of their own. These terpenes will make a difference in finding relief for those issues. I like to say that terpenes decide your ride on cannabis. Further, you should know that clinicians and scientists are realizing the higher value of using the whole pool of cannabinoids and terpene compounds in the plant versus one isolated compound like just CBD or just THC in a concentrated form, perhaps like to use in a vape pen. Concentrated forms of cannabis are right for some people, but not those new to cannabis when they're trying to establish the best product and dosage for their needs on their own. Cannabis isn't cheap, and there's no real insurance yet. Patients who need more serious pain control should definitely seek a qualified medical professional who understands your physical issues and the right cannabinoid profile and dosage for your needs. The process is easy. You list your conditions, to yourself in your head on a piece of paper. Research cannabis and your issues. See which cannabis products are available in your neck of the woods. Choose cannabis products and delivery methods accordingly. Eat food before you try your first dose. Take the smallest amount possible. Journal time and details while waiting. Repeat the dosage after an appropriate wait, if needed. Journal time and details while waiting. Respect the process until relief is achieved. And do it with every new product. That's it. There's the process. Now here's a new process you should consider as a female. Keep a tidy watch on your hormones and learn what they do for you, how they affect you, and what to look for when you don't feel right. We don't eat well as Americans and have thrown our systems out of balance, and that causes all kinds of problems for us, including weight gain, heart attacks, and Alzheimer's. But balancing your hormones can prevent all of that. Don't let the absence of a hormone discussion with your primary care physician stop you. Ask for a referral to a specialist so that you can get real and current data on hormonal health. If you want to live in health and peace as an elder, start monitoring your hormones now. I just finished reading the audio version of Estrogen Matters by Avram Blooming and Carol Tavris. I'd never picked up a book on the subject in all my life because I just thought my doctor would start talking to me about it. Well, I'm 70 and still waiting for that conversation. Don't you wait. Now I can see the patterns of cray-cray in my life when my hormones were severely out of whack. Considering the suffering I went through just makes me sad at the loss of peace for so long. Didn't just affect me either. All my friends, all my family, my spouse, my animals. Ladies, don't wait. You have options, including trying gentle plant therapies on your own to help relieve some of those symptoms until you can get in for blood tests to see where your hormonal levels are. And if you don't have access to gentle cannabis therapy, then I strongly suggest you research the new science out on that compound I've been using for a couple of months called beta-caryophyllene. Beta-caryophyllene. I want you to know how to say it and use the acronym BCP and find products like BC Plus that Dr. Philip Blair made, which is what I'm using, because it's an alternative to cannabinoids. And it does the same damn thing I've been telling y'all that cannabis does. It relieves anxiety, it relieves inflammation, and it relieves chronic pain. I became an affiliate with Dr. Philip Blair because of his new product, BC Plus. It changed the quality of my life within minutes. There was no waiting days to feel better, like often you have to do with antidepressants and that sort of stuff. It lifted me emotionally within minutes. I was going into a downward spiraling depression from death all around me. And I had this level 10 neuropathic pain in my hands. And it was completely wrecking my sleep, along with this weird spasming in my bladder that was getting me up now several times a night. That was kind of new. I'd never experienced that before. Had to run to the powder room several times a night. And I was already using cannabis. Now, maybe I wasn't using it in the right delivery method that would stay with me long enough, or maybe I wasn't getting the right cannabinoid profile, whatever. I started having these new symptoms. really seriously tricked out neuropathic hand pain. And then that spasming bladder and the spiraling depression just anchoring me down into hell. And within minutes of taking Dr. Blair's BC Plus product, which is just a lovely liposomal form of drops, man, I just had this grin on my face and my mood was completely lifted, and I didn't notice that my hands weren't hurting for the rest of the day. But that night, I noticed that I slept all night for the first night in a year, maybe. That my hand pain did not awaken me every hour on the hour, and that I did not have to get up and go to the bathroom several times that night. Holy cow. And it's just one terpene called beta-caryophyllene. Dr. Blair's product is called BC Plus. It's kind of a play off the acronym of beta-caryophyllene, which is BCP. So he just makes it easy for us to remember too, BC Plus. Look, so I kept taking the product. I kept feeling better. I kept getting long-lasting sleep and long-lasting relief that I wasn't able to find in my cannabis profile and how I was using it. And I'm still using cannabis to help my issues. And so that's called layering, what we know as polypharmacy in the big pharma world. So I want you to know that I became an affiliate not only with Dr. Blair, but I'm also an affiliate with Trusted Cana Nurse. And that's Megan Bang, my friend and nurse who just got her master's in all of cannabinoidology and all of this stuff. And oh my God, she's just amazing. Her brother is a pharmacist doctor and chemist, and he's been helping her devise all of these amazing products for us because she had these patients who were complaining of all of these womanly issues, of course. And she began learning that cannabinoids can give you a tremendous amount of relief. And then we began understanding which cannabinoids do what, and la, 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 la. So there it is. And so that's Trusted Cana Nurse. That's my second affiliate that I became partners with. My first one was Dr. Dustin Sulak of healer.com fame. And he's just an amazing man. I was just at his webinar meeting last night. It's a monthly 2-hour thing where he goes through some case studies and clinical trials that are happening now and helping us understand what they mean and what we can look forward to if more study is needed, which of course it always is, and la 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 la. And then the last 30-45 minutes of it is taking questions from an audience of over 500 people, medical professionals and advocates like myself, there to learn about cannabis every single month. And he's been doing this since 2018. And I've been with him since, the last almost 6 years of him doing this. So we learn a lot, and we're passing the information around, and I try to amplify their information through my podcast to you. And that's why, had it not been for the cannabis industry, Dr. Philip Blair would not have found out about beta-caryophyllene, which is not a cannabinoid, but it is a terpene. And terpenes are found, and especially this one, beta-caryophyllene, is often found in cannabis. So, again, this is an amazing new world of plant medicines. And I want you to find my affiliate links to trusted cannabis and terpene products that can be mailed directly to your door, because if you do not happen to be in a state that offers cannabis options to you, these three companies that I have already had the pleasure of many conversations with, and also spending just huge amounts of time and also trying their products. So I can say that I've tried all three of these amazing companies' products, that I've gained tremendous help from them. Changed my life kind of help. Changed and uplifted my quality of life kind of help. If you have questions, of course you're going to have questions. Join me on my new Facebook group, Healing Beyond High, because there's a lot of healing that's going to go on beyond that high. And you never even have to get high if you don't want to. And that's a huge message that I'm trying to let especially elders know. Elders are afraid of getting high because they're afraid of falling. Because if they fall, it means the end of their life as they know it, if they break something. Elders don't want to get high. They're afraid of falling. So, especially those elders who have never used cannabis before and have all that stigma in their history to remind them of how afraid they should be of this plant, this gentle live plant that's never caused a death on the planet in the history of the world. So there's a lot of stigma to get over. There's a lot of trust to work on, and I am uniquely positioned in this industry to vet these companies for you through my podcast, through interviewing them on my podcast and researching their companies and their work and their products and la 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 la. So I think you can trust, if you can trust me, you can trust these companies, because I trust these companies. Spend a little time with me and you'll learn to trust me too, because I've been spending a lot of time trying to figure out cannabis and spread the word by amplifying doctors and science who are involved in the cannabis industry to give relief. In fact, I give stage presentations about the spirit of cannabis being relief. That's what it is. It's the spirit of cannabis is relief. So, once again, find my affiliate links to trusted cannabis and terpene products that can be mailed directly to your door. It'll change the trajectory of womanly misery. Using my links will save you money and keep my podcast free to the public. So I'm grateful if you can help me do that. I'm really grateful. That's my mission. Free education, free cannabis education, help people find peace. So if you want to talk, and if you have more questions, please just join my new Facebook group, Healing Beyond High. I check in there daily to engage in audience curiosities. That way. Oh, and that, by the way, is also the name of my new book coming out soon, Healing Beyond High, Cannabis Truth by Honey Smith Walls. The details of publishing are absolutely excruciating to hammer through, but I gotta respect the process. Until next time, Pax Vobiscum, y'all.
You've been listening to another Cannabis Truth podcast with 21st century cannabis shaman Honey Smith Walls. It is important to use verifiably safe products and look out for yourself while we're in this wild, wild west of cannabis right now. Ask for help. It can get complicated. If you need serious medical attention, please consult one of the specialists at cannabisclinicians.org. They will get you to the right person and therapy for your issues. Tune in here for weekly foundational knowledge and learn to determine the best choices and cannabis strategies for your issues. But please be advised that shamans are not doctors or scientists. You'll find those at cannabisclinicians.org. Unless otherwise proven by a reputable third-party lab test, please regard all street weed as contaminated. It may do grave harm to a patient with a delicate immune system who already has inflammatory issues like arthritis, IBS, fibromyalgia, or worse. Thank you for your time today.